Welcome back. So last week in our story, Marta was helping Aunt Pina make dinner, and she left the sauce to go get the baby who was crying, and the sauce ended up burning. And Pina wasn't very happy at her. And then at the end of the story, Francesco said that he didn't want to become a Christian anymore. And Pina got very happy and everything. And right now she seems to be happy with Marta. But I don't think that will last very long. Pina was very happy. She told Marta she was going to the cathedral to light a candle before the Madonna and ask her to bless her wedding plans. Marta listened as she and Mama listened as she and Marta worked in the kitchen. Pina told Marta and her mother how intelligent Francesca was for deciding not to become a Christian. Then she said, "We three are the only ones in the family who still worship in the right way." Papa and Roberto stood in the doorway as Pina finished. Mama turned and said to Pina, "I too have accepted Christ as my Savior. No longer will I be burning candles or praying to the saints. Jesus is living, and He hears all and will answer our prayers." Pina put down the dish she was holding and ran from the room, weeping. Papa took Mama into his arms. "I thank God for your decision, dear. We'll all pray for Pina." Then Papa said, "Come, I think we have something to do." He walked down the hall to the bedroom. Marta followed Mama and Roberto. He went to the bed and removed the Madonna from its stand. He looked at Mama for a minute. She nodded her head at him. Papa handed the Madonna to Roberto. Then he went to the wardrobe and took out a beautifully framed Bible verse. "He that cometh unto me, I will no wise cast out." "It is beautiful," said Mama. Father carefully hung the text on the wall. "Mamma mia," said Roberto. "This is much better. Now we can get rid of this Madonna." He put it in the box, then had the box that had held the verse, and set it in the hall. Back in the kitchen, with her mother, Marta began to feel uncomfortable. She remembered other verses, especially the one in Alda's house, that said, "You are saved by grace, a gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast." She wondered how God gave this gift, and how she could be good enough to receive it. Pina came in with the Madonna clutched under her arms. "I am going to put the Madonna in my room, and I want her to stay there. I want her blessings, even if you do not." She turned and marched out. The family left for church. Marta walked slowly behind her mother, thinking of Pina. At church, Marta sat with Alda. They sang some new songs, and then some of the ones Marta had already learned. Later, Mr. Hilliard preached. He quoted a verse, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God," Romans 3:23. Marta slid down lower in her seat, hoping no one would notice that a sinner like herself had come to church. She thought of the many things she had done, lying to her mother, and then lying when she told Ernesto because she was angry at Roberto, and then the lie to Francesco. Finally, church was over. At home, they were met by a furious Pina. "Marta, where are my beautiful gold earrings?" she demanded. Marta was startled, and for a moment could not remember what Pina was talking about. Then, as Pina angrily asked a second time, she remembered that 2 days before she had put the earrings on to see how they looked. Pina had said she could try them on, but as she was looking at them in the mirror, Alda called her to play, and Marta pulled off the earrings and left them on the dresser in her mother's room. "Oh, they are on the dresser in Mamma's room," Marta said. "No, they are not. I've looked all over this house, and they are not to be found. You are lying again." With this, Pina stalked out of the room. She called back over her shoulder, "I'm going out with Francisco, and you had better find them before I come back, if you know what's good for you." Marta's heart sank. She ran to look on the dresser, followed by her mother. There were no earrings on the dresser. "Marta, this is very serious," her mother said. "I know it, Mamma. What will I do? I did put them here on the dresser," replied Marta. Just then the doorbell rang, and Alda came in. "Mamma and I could play until supper time. Mamma said I can play until supper time," said Alda. "Why are you crying, Marta? What is the matter?" Mrs. Tamponi told Alda the problem. "So now maybe you can help Marta look for the earrings? First, let us look in your room to see if you or Pina put them away and then forgot about them," said Alda. The girls looked, but the search was fruitless. Marta opened all her drawers and looked in them. Then they went back to Mrs. Tamponi's room and searched very carefully there. The two girls looked at one another. "Oh, what shall we do?" Marta asked tearfully. "First we must pray, and then we must think," said Alda. Both girls sat down on the bedside rug and were quiet. Alda bowed her head and prayed. Then she looked around the room. Suddenly she jumped up and ran to the baby's crib and pulled a bright scarf from the crib. "How did this scarf get here? Get in baby Gianni's crib?" she asked. "Oh," replied Marta, "I guess he pulled it from the dresser." Then she jumped up in excitement. Could he have reached the earrings on the dresser? The girls carefully shook out each blanket in the crib and took the cover from the pillow. They found nothing. "Maybe it is in the mattress," said Alda. The two girls lifted and tugged, and soon had the mattress pulled from the crib. As it slid to the floor, they heard a tingling sound. There under the crib lay one gold earring. "It must have fallen between the mattress and was caught in the corner, between the crib and the mattress," said Alda. Marta held the shining earring in her hand, and as she looked at it, she said, "God must have answered our prayers. But where is the other one?" Marta ran to her mother and gave her the one they had found. Mrs. Tamponi came rushing back to the bedroom with Marta. She looked around the room, and the girls showed her where they had found the earring. "Marta, go get the broom and sweep the floor carefully. If it is in the room, you will find it that way. But remember, it was 2 days ago, and it must have been swept up or thrown away with the dust." 20 minutes later, the girls sifted carefully through the little pile of dust. They found nothing. "Well, Marta, I'm sorry we couldn't find the other earring," said Alda. "I must go home for supper now." Marta slowly emptied the dustpan into the garbage and put the broom away. "I know it is my fault, because I should have put the earrings back in Pina's dresser when I found them. Where I found them. It seems everything I do is wrong." Marta walked back into her room and looked at the Madonna, standing silently beside Pina's bed. Her smile was so sweet as ever, and her blue eyes stared into the air. Okay, and that's where our story is going to end this week. Next week, we will hear if they can find the other earring. Do you think they can find it?